Hey y'all, coming back to you with an updated Ranger build. Uh, this is going to show you, well, essentially what I run in Tower of the Mad Mage, but also what I run in lower content. The end of the video will contain gear and some gear substitutes, places you can find some other stuff. And let's get started. We'll go with mounts first. 10k power, tensors. I run 3 gladiators guiles. The stamina regen is the big reason, right? High stamina regen. Cavalry's warning because I have a legendary. It may not be the best ever, but 1,000 all your ratings for 10 seconds is always fun. Although everything's at caps right now, so I don't know that I really need it. Artificer's Persuasion just to help with the cooldowns. Companions, power, 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 and Baby Owlbear. The reason I'm doing the Owlbear is that the Compy is still broken, and I got tired of summoning and unsummoning it all the time. Don't worry about specific companion gear. You really need to use whatever it takes to get you to your caps. Whatever caps you're missing, you need to use what it takes. I am using all rank 15 empowereds, of course, and all rank 15 bondings. Boulette Pup is my summoned companion. Excuse me, got a little cold still. I've always got a cold. Combat advantage, defense, and power. It shares those from Epic and beyond, I believe. And then armor break. I always run the armor break. Its tooltip is wrong. It is a 2% defensive stat debuff to whatever you hit with it, and it stacks. So if all 5 people in your group hit something with it, 10% damage. Boons, whatever you really need to get to where you need to go. I do really emphasize using power, hit points, run speed, companion influence, recovery, crit severity. This is for Rangers, mind you. And I'm using focus retaliation. Powers. Alright, I'm running Marauder's Rush, also known as Marauder's Escape, Hindering Strike, also known as Hindering Shot, and Boar's Charge, also known as Boar Hide. I use this to close gaps. It's got the longest distance, 83 yards. It's really far. In Trash, I always follow it up with Hindering Strike. If it's a single target, I follow it up with Boar Charge. I do have 2 dailies picked, of course, but the only daily I use is Call of the Storm. It's half the cost. You get it. It helps you proc some other ability from gear. In Dungeons, Seeker's Vengeance, 10% more damage. Hey, no biggie. Get behind the boss, 10% damage. Blade Storm, just an extra chance to do extra damage. Focused, stacking damage on melee attacks. Storm's Recovery, using melee encounters cools down melee encounters. Using melee encounter power grabs Flurry. Flurry is awesome. So use your encounter. Hit 3 at wills. As soon as you see the debuff, here I'll show you the debuff real quick. There you go. There's what Flurry looked like. It disappeared real quick. So as soon as it disappears, you hit your next at will. It's not too hard, right? Oh, that one didn't pop up. It's got to be a melee at will, sorry. Or not at will, I'm sorry, encounters. Use encounters, and it buffs your at wills. Skirmisher's Gambit, higher crit, or lower crit, higher crit severity, and enhanced conductivity. It's just better than Nature's Envoy because we don't use Forest Ghost. That's all there is. Oh, none of that stuff matters. Here we go. Okay, stats. In Undermountain, let me switch. So outside of Undermountain, this is the helmet I use. Just because it isn't tied to being just in the Undermountain. I do a lot of random stuff with guildies and alliance members and stuff like that. Other than that, all I use is the Protege Hood. Yeah, I'm not very organized today. Sorry, guys. I'm still not feeling 100%. Whoops. Alright, so I want to let you know now the only difference between my Tome loadout and my other stuff is one boon. It's the Guild Stronghold boon. So for Tome, I turn on the defense boon. For everything else, I turn on incoming healing bonus. Because with the defense guild boon off, I'm at 72k. If you notice, everything else is, cap, 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 cap. Yeah, good power, right? Okay, my ability scores, dexterity, intelligence, crit severity, run speed, magical damage increase. Okay, let's get to the gear. I explained everything else. Let's get to the gear. In Undermountain, Protege Hood, 5% damage. That's Loam, that's Tome, that's your MEs, your WEs, your FEs, all that stuff. Everywhere else, just get something you like. I mean, I have a lot of choices. Sometimes I think about using the Trapper or the Twilight Hood, but it is literally the same stats as the Broken and the Omnipotent. So I just use the one I already have. Ebony Stained Hide, it lets you stack power. Very easy to get to with how fast we refresh our encounters. You'll get to 10 stacks right away. There's other options, but honestly, I don't think anything's better. Vivified Primal Raid. Power. Power is, it's going to give you more damage output than any of the 3% damage stuff. Any of that 3% damage stuff is fine. It's just not going to give you as much power. I'm using the Lionheart weapons. Yes, I know. I'm not going to tell everybody go get your Lionheart weapons because it is not super easy. It takes a lot of runs through Tome, and you have to have a good group to farm it. It can get tricky. My second suggestion would be Burnished. If not Burnished, get Alabaster. Everyone can get Alabaster, right? And these days, most people can get Burnished. Yeah, it takes some runs, right? But you just got to run Lair of the Mad Mage. Form guild groups. Look in your alliance. I mean, there's people running it all day. For boots, right now, Heels of Fury, 3% damage. When the new mod comes out, I'll get the boots that lower incoming healing and give you 5% damage. If you aren't using the Heels of Fury because you don't want to farm for them, honestly, I would go with like maybe some of the Star Stealer boots or something, the plus power ones. As a ranger, it's like the only set to go. For the longest time, I tried to stick to Demogorgon, but a good buddy and guildie of mine, Nico, just pointed out, we proc this all the time, so it's like 15% damage every 30 seconds or something like that. And if you use it in conjunction with the Envenom Tome, it's up all the time. Like you can't get through a rotation of encounters, all 3 encounters, before you're proccing your daily. Leading Ring of the Teacher. I don't care how much damage my daily does. It's only there to give me a buff. So, extra damage. Ebonized Assault Ring, extra melee damage. This is the reason I run 3 Gladiators, Giles. Aside from the fact run speed is king, it keeps your Charge Fury topped up. So you're always going to have that 3% damage too. If you notice, I am running all rank 15s for my offensive slots. I'm running brutal 15s for my defensive slots. I'm running a Shadowclad on this guy because recently I swapped my Barbarian and my Rangers weapon or armor enchantments. So my Rangers got Shadowclad now. My Barbarian's running Bark Shield. I'm running Bilethorn. I recently swapped to it. You can run Warple. You can run Lightning. You can run really anything. The Bilethorn is just for Tower of the Mad Mage, to tell you the truth, because of how long that fight is on a single target. So you get those stacks up and they really accumulate. As far as artifacts, I'm using 3 journals because that gives you... Let me move my sheet over a little so we can see this better. It gives you the 3-set bonus, so you do additional hit for weapon damage, you get 15,000 hit points, 1,500 power, you get the Lost Mouth bonus, which gives you your attributes you get your attributes plus 1, and then you get the Lost Mouth bonus, where you do a chance to do an additional unresistible damage equal to 10% of your weapon damage, or 10% of your power. And it is pretty awesome. It makes it a lot easier to get to stats. I know the attribute points don't always mean a lot, but they do help. As far as anything that is hard to get, honestly, the only thing hard to get are the Lion Hearts and farming for the Heels of Fury in Barovia, because the Sister of Fury posters are super expensive. And at this point, with the new mod coming out, and whatever boots you got are fine. You're going to replace those boots as soon as you get the new ones anyways. This ring is not very expensive on the auction house. I think it's like 80,000. But if you don't have it, and you're not using Heels of Fury, use 2 Ebonized rings, because then you can still get your 2 stacks of Swordsman's perk. Nice and easy. Open the fight with a Marauder's Rush. Do a full round of Storm Strike. Do a Boar Charge or a Hindering Strike, depending on how big the group is. Do a full round of Storm Strike. Do your 3rd encounter, and it feeds itself. It's really great. It's really great. Can't think of anything else to say, guys. This video's already gone on kind of long because I'm rambling a little bit. Best of luck. Look forward to seeing you in the new mod. As always, leave some comments. Ask me questions in game. I'm good for anything. Later.